Hello everyone! Welcome back to our channel. Are you aware of the unicorn hunter, the craziest billionaire ever known? He is none other than the Japanese billionaire Masatoshi's son. Masatoshi, also known as the world's most successful tech investor, is a man who has made a significant impact on the tech industry. His son, Masatoshi, was once the richest man in the world for 3 days and then lost about $70 billion almost overnight. Masatoshi secured $45 billion worth of funding after a 45-minute meeting, making him the single greatest investment ever made. Masatoshi's story is one of inspiration, terrifying, and insane. He is considered the world's most astute tech investor, or the luckiest guy on the planet. His grandparents emigrated to Japan from South Korea, and his father barely made enough to get by. Masa was determined to build a better life for himself and decided on becoming Japan's most successful businessman. Masatoshi idolized a man named Den Fujita, who had brought McDonald's to Japan. At the age of 16, Masa went to California to pursue his business dreams. He brushed up on his English and attended an American high school. Masa eventually took the college entrance exam early, and less than a month later, he graduated and went to study economics and computer science at the University of California. Masatoshi worked 5 minutes a day, coming up with new invention ideas to patent them and sell them on. He realized that there were 3 approaches to coming up with ideas: searching solutions to problems, looking at things from the opposite perspective, and combining existing things. By the end of the year, Masa had a book with 250 different invention ideas and decided the best of them was a pocket-sized device that translated text into different languages. Masatoshi started pitching companies to buy his new device and paid another Asian student to take his places in lectures. Sharp agreed to buy the device patent for $1.7 million, making Masatoshi technically a millionaire at the age of 19. As a side hustle, Masatoshi began importing Space Invaders arcade machines from Japan over to the US, setting them up in bars and restaurants. Within just 6 months, he had imported over 350 arcade machines and made a profit of over $1 million. Masatoshi's entrepreneurial instincts were evident as he worked 7 days a week, sleeping as little as possible, and enjoyed the process. After graduating, Masatoshi returned to Japan, fulfilling his promise to his mother that he would return to Japan after finishing college. Masa, a Japanese businessman, was determined to use his American wealth to build a bigger business in Japan. He brainstormed new business ideas and mapped out 40 potential businesses, with the best scoring idea being a company that distributed computer software. He created SoftBank, which eventually became the top distribution company in Japan. Despite having no experience with software, Masa believed that SoftBank could become the top distribution company in Japan. He hired 2 employees to help him and told them that SoftBank would become a billion-dollar company. However, both employees quit soon after, and SoftBank struggled to take off. Masa tried to start magazines to generate interest in computing, but they didn't take off well either. In the mid-1990s, SoftBank had 800 employees and $1 billion in revenue. Masa took the company public to raise even more money, and by the end of the 90s, SoftBank had 800 employees and $1 billion in revenue. Masa's vision of how technology would change the world led him to make investments in other tech companies and became known for making audacious business bets. Masa invested $3 billion into 800 different tech startups by the end of the 90s. By the end of the 90s, SoftBank had invested $3 billion into 800 different tech startups, and SoftBank employees were struggling to keep track of them. Masa met 200 entrepreneurs every 3 months to try and find the next big opportunity. In 2000, Masa made a significant venture capital investment in Chinese internet company Alibaba, which later became worth over $70 billion. He also raised the largest Japanese investment fund, investing in hundreds of internet companies. Masa was dubbed the Bill Gates of Japan by the New York Times, and for 3 days surpassed Bill Gates as the world's richest man. However, the Dotcom bubble burst caused Masa to lose $70 billion more wealth than any single investor has ever lost in history. Masatoshi Masamoto, a Japanese billionaire, entered the Japanese broadband market in 2001 after bribing the government's Telecom's office. He launched a broadband service at half the cost of competitors and focused on rapid growth. By 2007, Masamoto identified the shift to mobiles as the next big wave of the internet. He partnered with Steve Jobs to develop a mini-computer-like mobile phone, which led to Masashi buying Vodafone Japan for around $20 billion. Masashi then had the exclusive rights to sell the iPhone in Japan, selling a large number of phone contracts. He also invested in various tech businesses, such as a robotics company that creates robots that can read human emotion. Masashi's vision for the future included SoftBank becoming a telepathy company or talking to dogs. Despite his rapid acquisitions, Masashi needed a true war chest to avoid limitations. He created the Vision Fund, a $100 billion venture capital fund, to invest in AI, believing society is approaching the singularity where artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence. However, he has faced accusations of creating extreme bubbles, inflating prices, distorting the true value of companies, and sometimes leaving his companies frustrated. Massimo Massa is a ruthless investor and businessman who has made a significant impact on multiple industries and economies. He has been accused of using capital as a weapon, throwing endless cash at companies with the belief that the best-funded startup can outspend all its competitors in winner-take-all markets. This means the companies he invests in don't focus on building a sustainable, profitable business. Some companies complain that Massimo would shower them with attention at first and then find a new toy and move on. Massimo has invested billions into ride-sharing apps like UberGrab and other ride-sharing apps. He has also been found to be the Nasdaq whale behind billions of dollars of call option trades on public tech companies. Although many of his investments aren't profitable, Massimo has always said he is playing the long game and tries to earn more or less by his investments. He has executed his 50-year life plan for himself from an early age, starting a company in his 20s, building wealth in his 30s, deploying that money in his 40s, tying up loose ends in his 50s, and handing things over to the next generation after he turns 60. He has also invested in futuristic cities like Neon, which will have flying cars, commercial space travel, robot butlers, and an artificial moon that rises each night. Despite his success, Massimo remains an enigma. He remains one of the shrewdest investors and businessmen ever, with a vision of the future many people just aren't yet appreciating, or is a lucky gambler destroying venture capital and manipulating markets. Thank you for watching this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to explore more about us in our channel.